Lust, a powerful and often overwhelming desire, affects many. Imagine a person tempted by fleeting attractions in a crowded place. The Bible teaches that self-control and purity are vital, reminding us to seek deeper connections rather than succumbing to momentary urges. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus addressed the issue of lust, saying, "But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart." Matthew 5:28, ESV. This verse highlights the fact that it's not just our external actions that matter, but also the thoughts and desires we harbor within our hearts. Even if we don't act on our lustful impulses, the mere act of entertaining them can be considered a form of sin. Overcoming lust is not an easy task, but the Bible provides us with practical guidance. One way to combat lust is to be mindful of the media and content we consume, as these can often fuel our lustful desires. Cultivating a strong relationship with God and seeking His guidance can help us develop the self-control and purity of heart that He desires for us. Idolatry. Ever scroll through Instagram and feel a pang of jealousy about that influencer's perfect life? Or maybe you find yourself constantly checking your bank account to keep up with the latest trends. That, my friend, could be a brush with idolatry. The Bible talks about idolatry as worshiping anything other than God, and that can be anything we put above Him in our hearts. It's not just about bowing down to golden statues, although that's definitely not cool either. It's about what truly consumes our thoughts, desires, and priorities. So, how do we break free? Here's the thing. We can still enjoy nice things and chase our dreams. The key is to keep them in perspective. Instead of letting them become our idols, let's use them to glorify God and appreciate the blessings He's already given us. After all, a healthy dose of gratitude is way more attractive than the newest gadget, don't you think? Gluttony. Have you ever indulged in a slice of cake, promising yourself just one bite, only to finish the whole thing? Gluttony is a familiar struggle, tempting us daily with delicious treats that challenge our self-control and moderation. The Bible offers us a clear warning about the dangers of gluttony. In Proverbs 23:20-21, we're cautioned against being among drunkards or among gluttonous eaters of meat, as the drunkard and the glutton will ultimately come to poverty and be clothed with rags. This verse paints a vivid picture of the negative consequences that can arise from an inability to control our physical appetites. The passage from Philippians 3:18-19 takes this message a step further, criticizing those who make their God their belly and glory in their shame. This suggests that an excessive focus on indulging our physical desires can lead us to neglect the more important spiritual aspects of our lives, ultimately leading to destruction. Greed. At least once in a lifetime, you have ever felt the urge to upgrade your phone, even when your current one works perfectly. Greed often blinds us to what truly matters, pushing us to chase more possessions while neglecting relationships and experiences that enrich our lives. The Bible talks about this issue in various passages, calling it a form of idolatry. It means that when we prioritize material wealth or possessions over our values and relationships, we're essentially worshiping some things instead of God, or what's right. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evils. It is through this craving that some have wandered away from the faith and pierced themselves with many pangs, says Timothy 6:10. This verse warns us about the dangers of loving money too much. It can lead to all sorts of problems and even cause us to lose our way spiritually. True happiness and fulfillment come from living a life that's guided by our values and relationships, not just from having more and more things. Sloth. Ever felt demotivated, like a heavy fog is holding you back? Sloth isn't just laziness, it's a deeper spiritual struggle that can stifle our growth, much like a once vibrant garden choked by weeds, preventing it from flourishing. Imagine a young man named John, who once had big dreams of becoming an engineer. However, as time passed, he found himself increasingly drawn to the comfort of his couch, binge-watching endless hours of television. The responsibilities of his studies and part-time jobs slowly slipped away as he succumbed to the allure of laziness. John's story is not uncommon. The acedia, or apathy, that sloth brings can manifest in many ways. It's a trap that can ensnare even the most well-intentioned of us. But there is hope. Ecclesiastes 9:10 encourages us to approach our work and responsibilities with a renewed sense of purpose. Whatever your hand finds to do it with your might, for there is no work or thought or knowledge or wisdom in Sheol to which you are going. Wrath. The sin of wrath, as described in the Bible, refers to this uncontrolled, vengeful anger that can consume us. Imagine a scenario where you're stuck in traffic, running late for an important meeting. Your blood starts to boil, and you find yourself lashing out at other drivers, honking your horn, and muttering curses under your breath. This is the essence of wrath, a destructive emotion that not only harms those around you, but also takes a toll on your own well-being. As the psalmist wisely advises, refrain from anger and forsake wrath. When we give in to these harmful feelings, we often end up making decisions we later regret, damaging relationships, and causing unnecessary turmoil in our lives. Instead, we should strive to cultivate patience, understanding, and a calm demeanor, even in the face of life's frustrations. Sin number 7, envy, the corrosive emotion. It is a common human experience, one that we all grapple with at various points in our lives. The 10th commandment, as outlined in Exodus 20:17, is a clear warning against the sin of envy. It reminds us not to covet our neighbor's possessions, from their home and spouse to their livestock and belongings. The message is simple. Be content with what you have, and don't harbor ill feelings towards others for their good fortune. Ask a simple question with yourself. Do you find yourself feeling resentful and bitter? That's the poison of envy at work. Instead of focusing on your own blessings and being grateful for what you have, you're consumed by what others possess. It's not always easy, but it's a journey worth taking. By shifting our focus from what we lack to the abundance we already have, we can find a sense of peace and joy that transcends the material possessions or achievements of others. Pride. The rush of pride after promotion, butterflies in the belly. But if you start to think that you're better than everyone else or don't need anyone's help, that's when pride becomes a problem. While it boosts our self-esteem, it can also blind us to our flaws. Just like a new job can inspire confidence, unchecked pride may lead to overconfidence and mistakes. It's like when you're walking down the street and you see someone who looks a little different from you. If you start to think, I'm better than that person because I look different, that's pride talking. We're all human beings, and we all have our own strengths and weaknesses. The Bible warns us about the dangers of pride because it can lead to all kinds of trouble. So, the next time you feel that little twinge of pride, try to remember the wise words of the Bible. Be humble, be kind, and always remember that we're all in this together. After all, we're all just trying to figure things out, one day at a time. Stealing. Ever borrowed a pen from work that mysteriously never returned? Or accidentally pocketed that cute keychain at the store? We've all been there. But the Bible considers stealing, big or small, a big deal. It breaks down trust and disrupts the social order. Remember the commandment, "Thou shalt not steal"? It goes beyond just grand theft auto. Taking anything that isn't yours, even a candy bar, hurts someone else. Solution? Honesty is key. If you're tempted, ask yourself, would I want someone to take this from me? If the answer's no, put it down. Remember, earning something through hard work feels way better than a fleeting thrill from a stolen item.